everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. This week I'm heading out for a nice easy run in some beautiful sunshine. I've just parked up so that I can head along the river path with the dog, who is waiting for me to tell her that she is allowed to leave the car. There's been so much exciting news recently, so I am gonna talk about it as I run. Keep me at a nice conversational pace, so without further ado, let's get going. I've got a 5.5k easy run on my plan today. The reason I'm doing it out here is because a certain someone is completely psychotic because I haven't taken her out recently. And I also thought it's such a beautiful day. I love this route for just, you know, showing so many beautiful parts of Bristol. So I've got the Runna program scheduling my workouts at the moment, kind of as usual, but I've switched programs from one that is heavily based on strength training to one that is more based on running, and I will share why once I got up this hill. My new program is training towards 50k. I was desperate to do another ultra marathon after Gran Canaria 48 kilometers earlier this year. That was 2 months ago now, and I feel like I'm ready to start ramping up training again. The only issue is that Race to the King, which is the ultra marathon that I'm doing, is only about 2 months away, so it's not a huge amount of training, but I'm hoping that the strength that I've built up from the last sort of 6 weeks, 7 weeks of some strength training, you know, 2-3 sessions a week plus my running, will mean that I can kind of manage that higher mileage over the next few weeks and also in the race itself. Also, a little bit bonkers, I'm running the Peak Divide next weekend, which is 75 kilometers over 2 days. So I would say this is not the best way of training for a 50k. However, the Peak Divide is very much not a race. It's a sort of 2-day shuffle between Manchester and Sheffield, and because of that I'm not too worried about, you know, paces or placing or like whatever. I'm heading out and gonna have a good time and get some time on feet. I will never get tired of that view. That's the Clifton Suspension Bridge, looking beautiful as always. There we go, gorgeous. So anyway, yeah, it's kind of going to be like a week of training, mini taper next week, and I'm not really going to taper very much for Peak Divide, then some recovery afterwards, then like 5-6 weeks of training, and then another taper again. So very much not the ideal training for a 50k, but you know, I've done the distance a lot before. I kind of know what I'm getting myself in for, and the reason that I chose Race to the King, which is one of the Threshold Sports ultramarathons, is because I know that they are great for beginners. They're great if you've never done anything like that before. There's a huge amount of support along the way, and the cut-off times are really generous. So if you've watched my vlog or read my blog post on how to choose your first ultramarathon, it's one of the race series that I recommend in there. I was kind of desperate to do the 100k, but I think we can all agree that 2 months is not enough time to train for my first proper 100k. So yeah, so that's what's coming up. But for now, a nice steady 6k along here is all I'm doing. Bristol in the sunshine is just the best thing. I feel so lucky to live here. and so happy that I moved here, I guess 4.5 years ago now. I've been going to uni here, obviously. I lived in London before, and the access to this kind of like wild green space is something that, although London has a lot of lovely parks, it doesn't have this kind of thing, at least not so easily accessible from the city centre. And the great thing about this as well is that it's so empty. I get super happy every time I see a runner or a hiker or a dog walker along here, because it's nice to see people enjoying it, but at the same time there's definitely something special about being able to head out and not see anyone. You know, if when I kept going I'd get to the beach. I'd get to the sea. Beach might be a generous word for it, but yeah, we're so lucky to have places like this. And I'm happy this was created. It goes along a railway line that's up there, disused railway line, so no giant trains coming past at 1,000,000 miles an hour. But I guess that's why this route was created, but it's now part of a kind of cycle network, and great for walkers and runners as well. It was great to see in my last vlog from Scotland where all of you guys are from. It's really nice because I think YouTube has this good kind of two-way communication going on, and I just see, like I said last time, I just see demographics. I don't really see the people. So when you guys comment on my videos, it's really nice because it kind of turns you all into real individuals from all over the world, I found out, which is epic. I love to hear it. A lot of you are trail runners. I'd say most of you maybe are trail runners over road runners, or maybe it's about 50-50. Some of you love hiking, some of you hate hiking, as I discovered, which is fair enough either way. As an ultra runner, I think an inevitable part of my running is a lot of hiking. That's the reason I chose Race to the King. I'm still yet to decide actually whether to do the coastal loop or the inland castle loop. I would love any recommendations from any of you that have done Race to the King before. I did Race to the Tower, which is 85 kilometers a few years ago, and absolutely loved it. That one's a bit hillier than their other ones, I think. But if you have any suggestions, if you think the coastal one is better for whatever reason, or if you think the castle one's better, let me know in the comments below. Either way, there will likely be a bit of hiking. The only thing I was thinking about the hilly one is that I am quite good at hiking. So in terms of like getting through 50k, if I can walk a lot of it, I know I'm more likely to get through it. But then on the flip side, if I walk a lot of it, then it will take me a significantly longer amount of time. So is it better to go slower and be out there for longer, or do the flatter route and just like bash it out, you know, as much as anyone can bash out a 50k? Suggestions, ideas? I can't make my decisions, you know, I'm incapable of making any decisions, so put your suggestions down in the comments below. Help me! In, I'm on my way back now. Should be about 6k, and that'll be perfect for me today, and a good excuse to get out into the sunshine. Apparently it's going to be raining all weekend, so got to make the most of it while it's here. So in other extremely exciting news, you know Runna? You should know Runna because I talk about them non-stop, and I'm a massive fan of the app. It's basically an AI training app that gives you training programs for like any distance, and it's what I use for training for all of my races, and it's what got me my 10k PB and my half marathon PB in the last few years. I started working with them back in 2022. Anyway, they've just been bought by Strava. Strava, of all things. This is so exciting because it's kind of a no-brainer. Like, it's crazy that Strava hasn't innovated their own running training programs other than their very basic sort of print paper ones. And what Runna offers is, you know, all the tech side of that. Nothing's changing immediately, so the two companies will still function separately. They're not being subsumed into Strava. The team's staying the same, which is great for me because I've worked with them for a long time and I continue to work with them extensively. But what it does mean is more money to innovate even better training programs and, you know, things, more stuff for trail as well, which is obviously huge for me because they primarily focus on road. And just basically it's going to improve both of the apps, I think. And I know that 3 years ago when I started working with Runna, it kind of was like, it was their goal to grow to a point where they could reach the majority of UK runners. And with Strava, I think it's a very real possibility that they're going to do that. And I'm just really happy for them. I think they work, in fact I know they work so hard on the app. They're constantly creating new things and updates, and it's a relatively new company. When I started working with them back in 2022, there were only like 3 permanent staff. Now they are currently recruiting 50 new staff members. That's just what they're recruiting. So they've grown massively, and from a tech point of view, what they're doing is incredible, but from a personal point of view as well, and the perspective of wanting to get as many people into running as possible and making it as accessible and as affordable as possible, I think yeah, they're onto an absolute winner, and I'm very, very impressed. I'm very happy for them. So yeah, well done Runna, well done Strava, a very cool collab. You tired? Whew, I'm tired. There she goes at the end of every run. Just to get out the last of the energy. Jesus. She's gonna take up my knees one day. That was so close. How does she have so much energy? We're gonna chase you. Oh, there you go, 6 and a bit kilometers plus a zoomy at the end, and what a gorgeous day it's been. Very happy. I sadly do actually have to go back and work, otherwise I would have headed out for longer today, knowing that it's going to be raining at the weekend. But hey, still worth getting out for just half an hour, 40 minutes or so. That's it for this week's vlog. I hope you enjoyed it. Obviously, if you guys are interested in testing out Runna and haven't already, you can use the code Flora and it'll get you 2 weeks for completely free. It's well worth it, whether you are an amateur runner or, you know, aiming for some pretty speedy times. I know that a lot of semi-elite runners use it as well, just, you know, because it's much cheaper than a coach, and it's really, really good. Anyway, that is it for this week's vlog. I hope you enjoyed it. Please do give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button if you did enjoy it. Tia and I are gonna head back home and get some lunch, because that is exactly what I need right now. And until next time, where I'll be doing the peak divide, safe running, and I'll see you then. Bye!